costs that much, cause it takes me fucking hours. Fucking hours. It costs that much, cause I don't have superpowers. Superpowers. So you need to pay for my skills, cause exposure doesn't pay the bills. It costs that much, cause it takes me fucking hours. You need to pay for my skills, cause exposure doesn't pay the bills. It costs that much, cause it takes me fucking hours.
Space, the final frontier. We're heading out into the black, y'all. Let's do some space trucking with Mysteries of Space tonight. Mundus Ultra.
Well, if there's anything.
Welcome. Hello, everybody. It's been a couple of weeks since we had the old Mundus Ultra. I was a little under the weather last week, so we didn't have it, but I'm trying to make up for it tonight with some cool little space goodies. So hopefully you will enjoy. I think you will. Let me shout out everybody that's here that has shown up all prim and proper like. We got Shelly and Gamer and Miguel. Good to see you. Les Bones and Pacheco, a couple of our producers here already. Good to see you. Pacheco also doing double duty on the Rockfin. Thank you for the $5 tip on there, Pacheco. Appreciate you. And yeah, if you want to donate to the show, the links are in the description. We also got a question in the a little poll up there. Is the universe a simulation? Now, we're not going to really talk about this tonight, but I do want to talk about this at a future date, because we're gonna have a few space nights. So don't you fret none. We're gonna have fun with the spaceys. So not the Kevin spaceys, because that's a kind of fun you don't want, and it's not fun at all. Anyway. Sorry, my ancient phone has decided to not work. There you go. Oh, no. Anywho, how's everybody doing tonight? I hope you're having a good Sunday. Just a small reminder. This is very odd. I hate this phone. Yes, you can go away now. So at 7 o'clock this evening, I'm going to be on Due Dissidence with Keaton and Russell, just at the beginning part, not for the whole show, so should be fun. Oh, we got James Magruder over there kicking in with some space tunes on Rockfin too. Good to see you. Gamer says, I'll probably take tonight off cannabis. Why? Why would you? Why? I mean, what? Why? Anyway, that is your business. So anyway, and this is my business. My business is telling you some cool stuff. Hey, what's up, Rick? Good to see you. I think everyone was high watching Secret Show last night. God, I hope so. Anybody watches that show sober, God love them, man. They got a strong constitution, that's for sure. But it's fun. I always have fun with Miss Jimmy, so we had a blast as usual. But tonight we're talking about space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Mundus Ultra. Its 1-hour mission to seek out new cool mysteries and to boldly go where a few people already went. So That's fine and dandy. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this in location, with like just like everything else, location, right? So we're going to start off at Earth, like outside of Earth, or maybe inside of Earth, depending how you look at it. And then we're going to expand and go through the solar system, out into the universe, and maybe possibly beyond. So I put a link in the chats there. I don't know if you saw it or not. I forgot to put my buddy's name. Somebody I am. So I actually did a show, I believe it was last year, when my buddy Robert Moore, he's an astrophysicist in North Dakota, I believe. And I've known him forever, and science nerd to the hilt. That was a particularly fun ExtraBulla show. So if you want to check that out, I put the link in Rockfin and in the YouTube chat. I don't think we have anybody on Twitch right now, but that could change. So very cool. We talk about a lot of this stuff too. But tonight we're going to start with what are we going to start with? This should be interesting. Let's go here. So we got, this is from Science Magazine, you know, take that what you will. And we're going to talk about the remains of impact that created the moon may lie deep within the Earth. So now, it's been theorized that long ago, like the Earth is like 4.5 billion years old. And but early on, like 4 billion years ago, it's been hypothesized that the Earth was hit by a protoplanet. Excuse me. Apparently my voice decided not to work right as the show started. God, I wish that was moonshine. So, and the name of the planet, the scientists are calling it, is Theia, right? So early on in the development of the solar system, you had total chaos, right? Helioseismology for the win. Yes, sir. They had, everything was going crazy, right? The planets, you know, the sun was new. And so you had all the material, the giant material disk around the sun that collated into to planets and things of that nature, moons, you know, it begat planets, and the planets then spun off and had their moons and that sort of thing, right? So that's the early creation of the universe. But while this is going on, you have like a lot of gravitational chaos going on, like big time, like when you hit a cue ball and break a rack of balls, break balls on a pool table, and they just scatter, and then they hit the rails, and then they kind of bounce into each other. That's how the early solar system was. Everything was just going crazy. So while the Earth, they said the Earth was like kind of a super Earth. Like some scientists say that this was a super Earth that had that, and then this protoplanet the size of Mars, Theia, rammed into the planet because of these gravitational forces, and then so got absorbed into the planet, right? So it's just crazy to think that our planet has another planet inside of it, right? So, and it's very interesting. We have a, let me just read a little bit of this here, from Science Magazine. So scientists have long agreed that the moon formed when a protoplanet called Theia struck Earth in its infancy, around 4.5 billion. So right as the Earth was forming, it was still just this molten ball of hate. Been there, done that. I know about the molten ball of hate. Now a team of scientists have a provocative new proposals. Theia's remains can be found in 2 continent-sized layers of rock buried deep in the Earth's mantle. I don't think they have the picture here, but I've seen I've seen pictures of what the middle of the earth looks like, right? So or what they feel that in the middle of the earth looks like. Like, when I say middle, I mean like below the crust as you're going through the mantle and then the various layers before you get to the core, right? So and what had happened was so there's like these 2 continent-sized chunks that are inside the planet that are not Earth, right? That's this planet Theia. And there's also a cool thing where they talk about how there's like oceans under the the crust too. Like there might be some deep Earth oceans, which I find to be highly fascinating. So but anyway, that's a topic for another day, about oceans under the planet, as it were. So hey Jimmy, good to see you. Wow, there's like hearts going off. That's crazy. That's wild. That Jimmy's doing some witchcraft in the chat there. But so you had this planet Theia that busted on the scene, right? Busted into Earth, took a large chunk off of it. So you have fragments of the planet floating around. So a lot of that coalesces into the Earth, into the moon, theoretically, although I'm pretty sure the moon is a artificial satellite, but once again, a topic for another day. So, and we have a little bit of video here too that I want to show you. This is a familiar voice, the Easy Reader himself. So this is a little clip from Our Universe on Netflix, and you'll recognize the voice. So let me get over here real quick, and let's play some of this goodness for you. So give me just a second here. We'll do this and we'll do this.
Not long after it formed, our planet gained a companion. But it wasn't the moon. It was another planet that formed in Earth's orbit. A sibling called Theia. It was roughly the size of Mars. A vast ball of rock and lava. Throughout their childhood, Earth and Theia lived in harmony. Until gravitational disturbances in the young solar system set the 2 planets on a collision course. In this moment, Earth's future hangs in the balance.
Yes, it is. The Easy Reader himself.
Theia is obliterated as the impact melts both worlds.
So that's on Netflix. So if you want to check that out, that should be a fun time. Maybe, I don't know. I could be lying about that though. Probably am. But what a cool thing is that So this kind of ties into some of the old Sumerian texts that Zechariah and Sitchin interpreted, where they talk about this battle of Marduk and Tiamat in the heavens, right? Which are also referenced in Anunnaki lore, which is another great subject to get onto. We'll be getting into a little bit of that tonight as we talk about Nibiru. Yes, his voice is great. So, Andy Dufresne was a friend of mine. Don't come around here, California. John Doe got the upper hand. So that's my poor, that's my poor Morgan Freeman voice. But so anyway, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna have a whole night of the Zechariah Sitchin with the Anunnaki and like go balls deep into the Anunnaki. But they talk about how there was this battle in the sky, and basically they're talking about these two planets colliding. How and what's also fascinating, there's another video. It talks about how Venus is formed at the same time, and with all the collisions going on, the same thing happens to Venus, but it's pushed more towards the sun, and so its atmosphere cannot develop, right? So you can't go to Venus, right? I believe the back in the 70s or the 80s, the Soviet Union sent probes there, and the probes only lasted maybe like an hour or something like that, because the pressure on the surface of Venus is so great. It's like being at the bottom of the ocean. It just crushes anything that lands on it. It's a hell. If people, when you hear about the religious people talking about hell, that's what they're talking about. They're talking about Venus. It's extremely hot. The pressure is unbearable, and it's just a hell planet. So that's Thea, or Thea, if you want to call it that. I'm not quite sure. I guess he said Thea. But that ties into, as we stay in the solar system, we talk about Planet X, right? So there are some people will say that Planet X is also Nibiru, which is talked about in the Sumerian texts. That I'm not quite sure. I mean, there seems to be some debate on that, even if that even exists at all. So, but here we have some information here. Let me check in on this real quick. So we have everything you need to know about Planet X's mysterious ninth planet. Research suggests our solar system has another large planet. Does it, or does it even exist? Research has long suggested that stars like our sun rarely occur individually. Usually there are one or more sibling stars scattered nearby. The fact that the sun doesn't have an established twin is problematic to our understanding of how star formation works, beginning with massive molecular clouds chock full of the gas and dust needed for them to collapse under their own weight and begin the internal ignition of nuclear fission. It is thought that more than 4/5 of star systems may be made up of two or more stars orbiting together. So 4/5, that's like 80% are binary systems. The majority of these systems are likely binary, consisting of two stars, maybe more, orbiting a common center of mass. As many as 85% of stars are estimated to belong to such systems. So until the late 18th century, our solar system was thought to host just 6 planets, right? We had Mercury, Venus, Earth, obviously, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, all of which could easily be seen through the most basic of telescopes, or even with the naked eye in optimal conditions. It wasn't until 1781 that renowned astronomer Sir William Herschel discovered the existence of an icy blue planet, originally believed to be a star, then a comet, orbiting the sun from a distance that is roughly 18 times greater than that of Earth. On average, it lies about 1.8 billion miles away from the sun, but at their closest approach to one another, they're separated by approximately 1.6 billion miles. It takes Uranus. It takes Uranus. We're not going to go down that junior high trip tonight. So 84 years to complete one trip around the sun, which makes sense. He nearly discovered Neptune as well, which has an extremely interesting history that will lead us further down the Planet X rabbit hole. But for starters, it was ultimately discovered by a trio of astronomers on the evening of September 23rd and 24th, 1846. So the discovery is made based on mathematical calculations of its predicted position due to observed perturbations in the orbit of the planet of Uranus. All right. So up to this point, we've discovered these planets, and then later on Pluto, but then Pluto gets downgraded to a dwarf planet, and then everybody starts hating Neil deGrasse Tyson. So, as they should, because he's kind of a jerk face, because he kind of relishes in the fact that that Pluto is not a regular planet. Never forget. And it was just a dwarf planet. Get over yourselves, bro. You know, these kind of people. And so that's some fascinating stuff right there. But what is NASA hiding? That's a good question, right? What does NASA know anything about Planet X? So this is from Life's Biggest Questions on the web here, and this kind of goes a little bit more into what Planet X is all about. So let's take a listen here.
However, others argue that the anomalies are too Some scholars speculate that lurks on the intrigue.
Let's just start over.
Planet X, also known as Nibiru, has long been shrouded in a veil of mystery and intrigue. It is believed to be a massive, elusive planet that lurks on the edge of our solar system, beyond Pluto's orbit. Some scholars speculate that Planet X was responsible for the extinction of the dinosaurs, while others believe that it could harbor alien life forms. Regardless of the controversy surrounding its existence, one fact is clear. The mere idea of a mysterious, undiscovered planet lurking in the periphery of our cosmic neighborhood is enough to captivate the imagination of scientists and layperson alike. In this article, we will explore the fascinating history and current evidence surrounding the elusive Planet X. Welcome to Life's Biggest Questions. Let's dive on in. Planet X is a hypothetical ninth planet in our solar system beyond the orbit of Neptune. The existence of this planet has been postulated based on the gravitational influence it has on other celestial bodies in the solar system. Some astronomers believe that it could be as big as 10 times the size of Earth, and could take up to 10,000 to 20,000 Earth years to complete one orbit around the Sun. The search for Planet X began with the discovery of Neptune in 1846. Astronomers noticed the wobbles in the motions of Uranus, Neptune, and some other objects, which they couldn't explain with the known planets. In 2016, astronomers at the California Institute of Technology, Caltech, announced that they had found evidence of a ninth planet beyond the orbit of Neptune. According to their calculations, this planet is about 10 times more massive than Earth and orbits the Sun once every 15,000 years. If Planet X exists, it could explain several anomalies in the outer solar system. For instance, why the Kuiper Belt, a disk-like region of debris beyond Neptune's orbit, has a lopsided distribution. Some astronomers believe that Planet X is responsible for shepherding the Kuiper Belt objects into their current orbits. The planet may also explain why some objects in the outer solar system are tilted at an angle relative to the rest of the planets, a phenomenon known as intrinsic tilt. The possible existence of Planet X has already caused much speculation in the scientific community. If it were indeed a gas giant, it could have up to 10 times the mass of Earth and be 4 times larger than Neptune. However, the exact composition and size of the planet are still unknown. In a study published in the Astronomical Journal, researchers at the University of Arizona suggested that the planet could be a rocky super-Earth with a mass 10 times that of Earth. contrary to popular belief that it is a gas giant. The search for Planet X is still ongoing. The researchers at Caltech used mathematical modeling and computer simulations to predict the planet's existence, but as yet no physical observation of the planet has been made. Astronomers are using powerful telescopes such as the Subaru telescope in Hawaii and the upcoming James Webb Space Telescope, JWST, to search for this elusive planet. The discovery of Planet X would not only deepen our understanding of our solar system, but could also have implications for the search for life beyond Earth. If it is confirmed as a rocky super-Earth, it could be a candidate for habitability. However, even if it is confirmed as a gas giant, it could still play a vital role in the ecology of the outer solar system via its gravitational pull on other celestial bodies. Despite the tantalizing hints of its existence, some astronomers remain skeptical of Planet X. Some believe that the anomalous behavior of the objects beyond Neptune could be explained by the presence of a swarm of small icy bodies rather than a large undiscovered planet. However, others argue that the anomalies are too significant to be explained by anything other than a large planet. If the existence of Planet X is confirmed, it would be a momentous discovery in the history of astronomy. It would represent a new class of planets in our solar system, unlike anything we have seen before. Whether it is a rocky super-Earth or a giant gas planet, it would provide insights into the formation and evolution of our solar system, and could even challenge some of our fundamental theories about the cosmos. I hope you enjoyed the video for today. Please let us know any ideas you may have in the comments down below.
Thanks, video person's voice. So yeah. So you have, okay, so you have like the inner planets, right? Then you have the asteroid belt, and then you have your gas giants, right? And then you get out further, and then that's where you have like Pluto and Charon and all these other like dwarf planets and stuff. And then you have the Oort cloud, which basically is like the bubble layer around the solar system, where a lot of comets and asteroids come from too. So they kind of do the little pinball thing back and forth, and then sometimes you'll see one heading to Earth. Now let's talk about gravity for just a second. So I know like a lot of people are like, man, what are you doing? Why are you giving all this science bullshit? Now I'm not a scientist myself. I don't even play one on TV, but I am a super fan of space and the coolness of space and like what could be out there and the possibilities, right? So of course scientists have to be a Debbie Downer about it and tell you, now, no, we actually proved that that's not true. And you're like, fuck, man, I wanted that to be true. But anyway, one can still dream. So, but you have these bodies out there, and all the planets' gravities, even though they're some millions, billions of miles away from each other, all the gravity affects affects one another, right? The reason why you don't see like all these extinction level event asteroids hitting the Earth all the time is because you have the gravity of Jupiter that will alter it. Sometimes it'll actually bring in comets to it, like they did what was the one? It was like back in the 90s. They actually had this comet had slammed was it Shoemaker-Levy? I think it was the Shoemaker-Levy comet that slammed into Jupiter and actually put little bruises on Jupiter too. Shelley says, hear me out. Planet X is an interdimensional planet. Could be. I mean, maybe it's from a parallel universe. We're going to talk about that here in just a few minutes too. So I am a super fan of Planet X. I have been for a long time. They've been talking about Planet X forever. They had scientists or astrophysicists have mentioned that Pluto may have been the Planet X, but then it's like, nah, it's not big enough. No, Shoemaker-Levy 9. Okay, thank you, Miguel. Appreciate it. It could be both. We don't know. We don't know dick about space. We say we do, but we really don't. Not deep space. We don't, I mean, so some people may say, well, if there's this giant planet like 10 times the size of Earth, surely they could just easily find it out there, right? We have the James Webb Space Telescope. We've got all these other space telescopes that are out there. Surely it would just be easy to find, right? Space is a huge place, right? It took them forever to find the gas giants that we know now. So there's no telling. Like, it could be interdimensional, like Shelley said. It could be like blinking in and out, or it could be this planet that's called Nibiru, that is talked about. I believe it was Sitchin that was talked about it. So I love this site, Crystal Links. I mean, some of my conspiracy fans out there, you probably know about Crystal Links from way back, like in the early days of the internet. Crystal Links was around. So let me just pull up this article talking about Nibiru, and you're like, what's Nibiru, dude? What the hell are you talking about? So let's get into this, shall we? So we have Nibiru, right? It's this, Nibiru to the Babylonians was a celestial body associated with the god Marduk. We talked about Marduk before. The name is Akkadian, means crossing place or the place of transition. And in most Babylonian texts, it's identified with the planet Jupiter. But in Tablet 5 of the Enuma Elish, it may be the pole star, which at the time was Thuban, or possibly Kochab, Ursa Minor. So Nibiru comes from the Sumerian cuneiform tablets and writings dating 5,000 years old, at least, maybe older. The term means planet of the crossing, and its cuneiform sign was often a cross or various winged discs. The Sumerian culture was located in the fertile lands between the Euphrates and Tigris rivers at the southern part of today's Iraq. So now here's the theory. So you have the asteroid belt here, the inner planets, and then you have the outer planets. And if you look over here way to the right, you'll see what they say is Nibiru. So Nibiru is in the same spot that a lot of these scientists are thinking that these gravitational forces that are influencing the outer planets is. And is Nibiru Planet X? Who knows? Some authors believe that the observations of ancient astronomers provide proof that Nibiru is an actual planet or a brown dwarf. So that's another thing too. It's also, obviously they don't know any of it, right? They don't know if it even exists at all, right? So so you have, sorry, I'm getting a little distracted here. So the observations of ancient astronomers provide proof that Nibiru is an actual planet or brown dwarf in our solar system. I believe in the Bible, they talk about this star called Wormwood that is supposed to approach the planet in the end times too. Now I'm going to get my buddy Marcus Cage from Political Matrix. He's kind of a Bible scholar, and we're gonna have a big night, maybe like a 2-hour show, talking about the various kooky stuff, craziness in the Bible, aliens, UFOs, that sort of thing. And he's very down on that information, so he's going to set us straight. Side note, I always thought Zachariah Sitchin, pictured here, kind of looked like Colonel Sanders, just a little bit, kind of like a more cleaned up, like he's looking for a job, Colonel Sanders. So according to Sitchin, the Nibiru appearing in Sumerian records correctly refers to a large planetary body. Their research proposes that it possesses a highly elliptical 3,600-year orbit. Such a planet would be approximately in the same orbit as 200 CR105. Okay. According to these theories of Sumerian cosmology, Nibiru was the 12th member of the solar system family of planets, which included 10 planets, the sun, and the moon. Now it's 9 planets, the sun and the moon. Thanks, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Ass. Its catastrophic collision with Tiamat, a planet that was between Mars and Jupiter, would have formed the planet Earth, the asteroid belt, and the moon. So, and we're going to get more into, we're going to have a whole show on Zecharia Sitchin and the Earth Chronicles, that sort of stuff. Highly fascinating stuff. Colonel Sanders when he's not on a bender. That's funny. Rick says, I mean, we can only see what we can see, so as technology gets better, we might be able to see way more than what we thought is out there. Exactly, and we're going to have to. Like, if we want to avoid these planet killers, like the one that landed in Chicxulub 63 million years ago, we have to come up with the technology to detect these things, right? Because Jupiter ain't going to catch all of them. Jupiter's good, but Jupiter ain't that good. Jupiter will let a few slip through. So, which I know, I guess if you want to call, if you want to get political about it, yes, do we have problems on this planet? Definitely. And we need to solve all these problems on this planet. But at the same time, you know, if there's a possibility that we can not only detect these things in outer space that are coming towards the planet and be able to actually do something about it, you know, like send some sort of large probe to move it slightly so that its path will get out of the way of the Earth. You know, we're gonna have to need to do that, because we can fix the planet. We could have like a nice little Star Trek, you know, utopia down here, but as soon as it starts raining rocks and we don't know about it, we're pretty much fucked. Yes, and Jupiter will fuck a bitch up. You are exactly right, Shelley. That's a big hoss. That Jupiter will take a beating. So I find Nibiru fascinating. I find Planet X fascinating. I've always been into that kind of stuff. Before we go any further, I'm going to try not to be on too long tonight. May go over a little bit, so if you want to hang out, that would be cool. Miguel says, I have a theory the asteroids were once a planet, or a planet that was never formed. Could be. I mean, it could be just like extra space junk that's out there. When Theia collided with Earth, there could be pieces from that collision that's out there too, you know. It's pretty much all theory, because I can't really prove it yet. But anyway, since we have you here, if there's any newbies watching the show, please do us a favor, like, share, and subscribe. We have links in the description and pinned here if you want to check out other channels, or you want to check out how to get in contact with us. Be sure, like, if you have any story ideas to... damn, cow. I know, right? And how does the cow drive? I never understood that. Anyway, so send us your stories, or the stuff you want to talk about, to mundusultra@gmail.com. Or if you know me on Twitter, just hit me up. I'm at WDearman, because I'm this guy. Well, no, actually, I'm this guy. That's me. I'm WDearman on Twitter. And here are the links too, if you want to check out all the good stuff. So we're trying to grow some stuff around here. Leave that cow alone. No, they brought the cow back. They said, no, we're tired of messing up these cows and mutilating them. So we said, no, we're going to send you back, dude. Have fun. Drive your little VW van away and, you know, enjoy things. So let's get back to space, the final frontier. So we have other little creepy crawly goodness things out in the universe. Yeah, the aliens taught the cow how to drive. So the cow's not going back to the farm either. He's tired of the farmer. He's tired of all that, or she's tired of all that, and so she's gonna take off, go live in the woods, eat some grass, have a good time. That's too funny. So let's get out of the solar system now, and let's go into more of a deeper space kind of thing, and talk about black holes, right? Which was also the name of my funk band back in the 70s. Wait, what? No, sorry, that's for another show. Let's take a look at this about this is from Live Science. Black holes may be swallowing invisible matter that slows the movement of stars. So it really wasn't until recently that it was theorized that there was a supermassive black hole at the center of not only this galaxy but all galaxies, right? So you have the stars revolving around the center. I say recently because in Star Trek V, back in the it was like the 80s, maybe it was like early 90s, when they went to the center of the galaxy and they found the planet with God on it. Like, no, dude, it's Star Trek. You should know that shit. You should know there's a black hole there. But they didn't know. The writers didn't know. So that's how Star Trek didn't know. But are these black holes, Shelley, are they portals to another universe, another dimension, right? So it's long been thought that black holes... So a black hole is not like a hole. It's basically a giant mass, usually like maybe 10, 20 times the size of our sun. That mass is compressed down to the size of an area comparable to the size of the width of Manhattan, right? So you're talking about an incredible amount of matter that is just compressed and compressed and compressed and compressed and compressed to this very relatively small size. So that's going to make the gravity just off the fucking chain. Okay. So, but is it, and it has been long theorized that if you go into a black hole, you'll be spaghettified, right? And the closer you get to the black hole, like if you're being observed from far away, people will see it'll look like you were just, the closer you get, it looks like you slow down, and at one point it just looks like you stop. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the movie Interstellar. Okay, that's one of my favorite movies. I think they do a pretty good job of talking about like the possibility of entering a black hole. Right? Because the only way you're going to find out what the singularity is if you go into a black hole, right? So that was the premise of Interstellar. Sorry, spoilers. Shelley says, I definitely think they're interdimensional portals. After following them for a long time, they act really weird. Black holes are like warps to other galaxies, dimensions, or time itself, probably. Right? I mean, it's quite possible it is. And so it's fascinating to think, well, if it's a black hole, but it's still mass, right? So how is it a hole? You've heard the expression that the gravity is so intense, nothing can escape its gravitational pull, not even light, right? So if this was a portal to another dimension or another universe, it seems like a one-way trip, right? Now, I've read articles too, how it's been theorized, like, if this is like a portal to another like galaxy or another universe, that on the other end is a white hole, right? Now, they've actually gotten some observations of black holes, right? I think they've done it with maybe James Webb. I'm not quite sure. But we know the existence of black holes. They do exist, right? We can't observe the black hole at the center of our galaxy because there's too much dust that surrounds the center, right? So we can't, even with looking at like X-rays and gamma rays and, you know, color spectrum analysis and stuff like that, we can't penetrate this dense cloud to see what's actually there, which is pretty fascinating. Shelley says, have you ever read 2001 A Space Odyssey? The actual book, they go into a lot more detail in it, and it's kind of like what happens in the second half of the story. And that was one of the first movies that got me hooked on space, right? I was always been a Star Trek nut. I know my buddy Jimmy, she's just like cringing right now. Just because she's not a Star Trek fan. I don't think she hates it. She's just not a fan. But I love Star Trek. That was my first introduction to science fiction as a kid. Besides those old, black and white B movies that they'd have on the weekends, that were, like from the 50s or something like that. Yeah, usually the book is a lot better anyway, Shelley. So it's very rare that the movie is actually better than the book. But 2001 is a very good movie if you're into that sort of thing. 1968, well ahead of its time. But I would suggest two things. Do not smoke indica when you're watching that movie, and don't watch it late at night. Or definitely don't do both of those things, because you'll pass out. And no matter how good that movie is, you'll definitely pass out. It is slow going. It's slow going, but it's so good. 2010 was not bad too, with Roy Scheider in there too, and Helen Mirren. She was in that too. The recent, James on Rockfin says the recent spin-off about the mycelium was decent too. So the mycelium, you're not talking about Star Trek Discovery, are you? Like where they use the mycelium network? I know people don't like the new Star Treks. I watch them because I don't think they're as good, obviously, as the originals, but I'm still a Trekkie. I gotta watch the shit. Yeah, Helen Mirren's in 2010. You know that? It's a great movie. The premise is it's a joint Soviet and so you gotta remember this movie was made in the 80s. Okay, so in 2010, apparently the Soviet Union is still around, and not only that, we're doing like joint missions with them in space, and then there's tensions on the planet while they're in space and that sort of thing. Oh yeah, the Star Trek. Okay, yeah, the mycelium network. So the mycelium network from Star Trek, they're talking about like this kind of like this network of energy that can where you could just be one place and then instantly appear at another place. I think that's like overpowered. I think Star Trek, I like the concept, but that's like way overpowered. You can just like totally get out of a situation like super easy. I don't like that. I like my Star Treks to be fighters. We get out of it, with brains and pew pew. She's in The Long Good Friday as well. Okay. But you have so you have black holes, which we know exist, right? Because we can actually create black holes too with CERN. Ooh, CERN. Who wants to talk about CERN? We're not gonna do it tonight, but we'll have a show on CERN and talk about the weird like rituals and stuff they did when they opened it. Woo! But CERN would make itty bitty 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 teeny teeny tiny black holes that would last for like a 1/1,000,000th of a second kind of thing. So, but what about wormholes? Wormholes, you say? Why, you're just talking Star Trek. I'm not talking Star Trek. Not just Star Trek. It's an actual scientific theory too. So, hello, are we still on the air? I guess we are. It's got a little dippity do there. So what is the wormhole theory, right? Okay, so math has predicted wormholes, but for now, these bridges through space-time remain hypothetical. So basically, what is a wormhole? In a nutshell, it's just it's like a shortcut. If you were able to fold space like you would a sheet of paper, and then you'd have your 2 points, which when the sheet is flat, the points are like way far apart. But when you fold it, now those points are like very close together. And so what connects them in space is this wormhole. So let's get all the technical stuff about that. The wormhole theory postulates that a theoretical passage through space-time could create shortcuts for long journeys across the universe. Wormholes are predicted by the theory of general relativity, but be wary, wormholes bring with them dangers of sudden collapse, high radiation, and dangerous contact with exotic matter. They're talking about me, exotic matter. They were wormholes. So a lot of people think, oh, that Star Trek made up wormholes. No, they were talking about wormholes like over 100 years ago. First theorized in 1916, though that wasn't what they were called at the time. While reviewing another physicist's solution to the equations in Albert Einstein's theory of general relativity, Austrian physicist Ludwig Flamm realized another solution was possible. He described a white hole. So we just talked about that earlier, like how that could possibly be on the other end of a black hole, or maybe the white hole itself is a wormhole. I think CERN made a rip in the fabric of time, space, and an alternate universe is bleeding into ours. Boy, at least since 2020, or maybe before that. I think CERN messed up a few years back, and now we're living in the bad timeline. That's right. What was it? They threw the marmot in there and made everything crazy. So he described a white hole, a theoretical time reversal of a black hole. Entrances to both black and white holes could be connected by a space-time conduit. I find that fascinating. There's no way in our lifetimes we're ever going to even attempt to even see one of these things, let alone interact with it. But, you know, the universe is a strange place. In 1935, Einstein and physicist Nathan Rosen used the theory of general relativity to elaborate on the idea of proposing the existence of bridges. The Einstein-Rosen bridge, you may have heard of that, through space-time. These bridges connect two different points in space-time, theoretically creating a shortcut that could reduce travel time and distance. The shortcuts came to be called the Einstein-Rosen bridges, or wormholes. Fascinating stuff. Now, my pretties, what do y'all think about that? Do you think that shit actually exists? I think you know, it's just too huge of a place, the universe is, to say positively or to affirm that these things don't exist, right? Because we only know about our little neck of the woods, and then how we see other like star systems and stuff through not with naked eye looking at them, but through like temperatures and dips in light, that sort of thing. You know, and it could be that the universe is a simulation too, right? We got the poll up here. Let's check out the poll and see. We kind of split there. We got 55% saying yes, the universe is a simulation. So very well could be. James over on Rockfin says Venetian Snares made an LP called Eisen-Rosen Bridge, file under easy listening. Well, yeah, because you want some easy listening in space, because you're just cruising along. So in the rest of the universe, you have places. I don't know if you've seen these radiation background images that basically show the what the universe looked like 13 billion years ago. Fascinating stuff. But there are places in this background radiation where you see giant holes in the universe, right? One of these is called Boötes Void, which is a pretty interesting thing. Here, Boötes Void, why the universe has a mysterious hole 330 million light years across. Okay. So in 1981, Robert Kirshner was working with other astronomers at the University of Michigan to calculate the redshifts, a measure of how fast something is moving away from Earth, of a great number of galaxies. Due to the way our universe is expanding, the farther away a galaxy is, the faster it moves, meaning redshift can be used to measure distance. And Kirshner and his team were taking advantage of this to create 3D map of the universe, right? So as the map became fleshed out, something strange appeared. At 700 million light years from Earth was a blank void in a roughly spherical region around 330 million light years across. A region of the Milky Way could fit into billions of times over, right? So you take our galaxy and just, you need billions of them to fill the void there. A region the Milky Way could fit into billions. There were barely any galaxies. And initially, the region was referred to as the Great Nothing, but later came to be known as the Boötes Void, as appeared to lie in the constellation of Boötes. Am I saying that right? Boots? Is it Booties? I want to say Boots. The herdsman who drives the plow around the North Pole. Since then, surveys have managed to create more detailed maps of our universe, and then we now know that galaxies are arranged like a giant web. The majority of galaxies in our universe are found in long structures known as filaments, and that wind through the cosmos. When these meet, they create regions with a high concentration of galaxies known as clusters. So we have you have clusters, and you have superclusters. Hey, the Viking Odin. Good to see you. Not sure if it's a simulation or just a unique realm of existence. Could be. Or like Shelley says, it's just something we just, our puny human brains can't comprehend yet. So that's the Boötes Void. We also have this here, could cold spot in the sky be a bruise from a collision with the parallel universe? So these areas in the background radiation that have these huge gaps, are just like these large voids with no galaxies, little or no galaxies in there whatsoever. Is it something where like a parallel universe touched it, right? Kind of like, just kind of bumped into it and just kind of, even like when you touch your hands together for a split second, you'll get like a little bit of redness because of the impact of, skin hitting skin, right? And you have blood and stuff in your hands. And so that's just going to happen. So maybe this is like on a cosmic level, this is some sort of, way of two universes colliding into each other. So, which kind of leads us to the multiverse theory, which I've been wanting to get to. And we're going to finish up with this. So, I think Viking, you've been here before, maybe not. If not, be sure to like and share and subscribe. That kind of helps me out a pretty good bit. This here is astronomer Stuart Clark, author of Unknown Universe, and he talks about the multiverse theory. So let me get this up here and let's listen to this.
If every possibility is played out across this huge multiverse, well, it makes our universe just a sheer accident. I'm Dr. Stuart Clark. I'm an astronomer and I'm the author of The Unknown Universe. Now, the multiverse is something that has come at astronomers and physicists from a number of different angles. It seems that there are a number of problems in physics and astronomy that could be solved if there were not just this universe, but an infinite number of other universes. So one of those things is whenever a quantum particle changes its state, there's nothing in our laws of physics that direct it to change that state in one particular way or another. So how does it choose to do that? Well, if there's a multiverse, then every possibility is played out. So it becomes understandable in that way. And also, when the astronomers look out into space, I mean, they see as far as they possibly can, but what's beyond that? Are there other realms out there as well, other universes? And then when we start to get into theories to try to join gravity, our understanding of gravity, with the understanding of the other forces of nature, then we're led to things like string theory, and they postulate different dimensions of existence. Again, natural places to find other universes. And so in all these different ways, there could be multiple universes. Now that sounds great, but of course, if every possibility is played out across this huge multiverse, well, it makes our universe just a sheer accident. We happen to be in it just because it happens to be the one where all the conditions are right for life. So there's nothing written in the laws of physics which direct us towards this orderly universe around us. I think for me, I would prefer it if there wasn't a multiverse. If the universe that we see around us today is all that there actually is, and that spurs us on to find the meaning, if you like, in the laws of physics, the reason why the universe is just this way and no different. But of course, the universe doesn't have to care what I think or want. It'll just do what it does.
So the multiverse, popular. It's been popular in recent years. What with Marvel, using the concept of the multiverse, using time travel. You had the was it Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. You see kind of bits of this in Quantumania, the Ant-Man movie that just came out. Now, forget about the quality of these movies right now. If you're like a movie snob, that's all well and good. We're not saying that either one of these movies are good or bad, but they just talk about these concepts, and it's really becoming a popular, more of a pop culture thing to talk about the multiverse, where it used to be just like this fringe theory that only like physicists and you know, conspiracy theory pot smokers would talk about, like, man, there's like a twin of you somewhere right now eating a cheese sandwich and singing God Bless America while you're wearing a man diaper. Somewhere out there, there's a dude doing that shit, man, and he looks just like you, bro. You know, so yeah, it was, right? Like I said, you could talk about the quality of the movie, the writing and all that stuff, but the concept really was interesting. I'm a super fan of that. Like, it's almost like if you made mistakes in your life, obviously it doesn't help you, but it might make you feel better to know that there's someone out there in the multiverse that's just like you, who didn't make those mistakes, right? So good for them. Will you know, they say you have a doppelganger somewhere on the planet. I'm pretty sure you have, if there's a multiverse, you definitely have a doppelganger, probably more than one. There's like infinite numbers. If they're talking about infinite numbers of universes, right? So that means anything is possible. Any scenario you can think of, where if you're sitting there right now watching this at home or wherever you're at, maybe you're watching it on your phone, or maybe you're watching it on the computer, and you're watching this, and then maybe you just pull the phone away for a second and then pull it back. Somewhere in another universe, there's someone doing the exact same thing you're doing, only they're not moving their hand. They're just keeping it there. You know, that kind of example is just kind of useless, I guess, but the point I'm making is that if there is a multiverse, that means that and there are infinite universes, that means that the possibilities for things to occur can happen. And like we said, on the quantum level too, that's a whole nother universe right there. So, you know, what if we're in a, what if us here in this reality that we know of, what if us ourselves are in a quantum realm compared to a macro realm somewhere above us, right, or around us, right? And we're the, like, the planets and all of us and everything that's in our universe are all just like the molecules and atoms that make up the greater universe that we're a part of, right? It's very mind-blowing. I tell you, you got to smoke pot for these shows, man, because it'll take you out. It's an interesting concept. Like I said, space is kind of like the oceans. You know, we've only explored like maybe what 5-10% of the oceans. We don't know what's down at the bottom there because we can't get to it. It's like space. We know there's stuff out there, but we just can't get to it. We can't see it. We don't know. But as the technology progresses, you know, eventually we'll get there. But we're talking like probably millennia down the road to get to when we become like a stage 2 civilization where we can harness the power of the sun using like Dyson spheres and stuff like that. But that's way down the road. We're talking like Dune 10,000 years into the future. Rick says, yeah, I got 2 or 3 doppelgangers that I've seen nearby. Then again, what did my dad not tell me about? They used to have the joke like, hey, you look like the milkman. Like, is there a milkman? Do they even have milkmen anymore? Shelley says, but it's all still you in the other universes, so we're living all different lives all at the same time. Yeah, that's another thing. You know, it could be like one of these things, like a shared energy concept. Like we're all part of this connected consciousness in this universe, which could be part of like the programming of the universe if you're into the simulation theory. And that's not to say we don't have a connection to other universes too. Maybe we as humans came from another universe. Who knows? We don't know. We're just dumb humans. The only thing we know is like we came from apes and there was a missing time and then all of a sudden, boom, you know, we're farming and shit. So, but anyway, so that's a look at space. Like I said, we're gonna do more space goodies. Probably talk more in particular about other stuff. There's Tabby Star that's out there that's pretty crazy. You have the huge stars, the Betelgeuse out there, and other space goodies. You know, giant mountains on Mars. I mean, space is a fun place. I don't know if I'd actually want to go to space, but the way things are going here on this planet, might be a better option. Just saying that. So I had insomnia really bad in high school and stayed awake thinking about this stuff. It really if you're into this kind of stuff, yeah, it's total rabbit hole stuff and it'll just totally blow your mind. So so yeah, that's gonna do it for tonight. I hope you enjoyed that. Like I said, if you've got any ideas for shows, hit me up. Well, you can email extrabulla@gmail.com if you want, but send them to mundusultra@gmail, or like I said, if we're pals on Twitter, just DM me. You know, I'm always looking for new cool stuff that the kids like. Yeah, that movie Everything Everywhere All at Once, that just won the Oscar, talks about that too, like multiple existences in different universes. So very fascinating stuff, but it helps to be a nerd. And James says glow stars on the ceiling help. You're an old person too, James. I used to have stars on the ceiling too. Especially you turn it out and they glowed in the dark. It's like, yeah, it's pretty cool. Like sleeping under the stars. So, anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming out today. It's kind of weird doing a show when the sun's still up, but you know, it is what it is. Coming up at 7 p.m., I'm going to be on Due Dissidence with Keaton and Russell. So, check that out if you're into that. Might have an extra bullish show tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to have a guest, but we may just do a kind of a potluck thing. Just talk about different topics that's going on recently. And yeah, just, you know, get your thoughts in the chat. As always, of course, y'all are the stars of this thing. I'm just the tech monkey running this joint. So you make the show. We appreciate everything that y'all do for us. We love each and every one of y'all. And don't forget, Jimmy and I will be back Saturday night for the secret show. That's always a good time. And check out her show, What, that is back. I believe it is 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. And Jimmy always has good shows on there too, on KRTD and on her own show, on her own channels. I think Jimmy Saves World, I think, and Image Productions too. So check all those out, like, share, and subscribe to all those. She's a cool chick. She deserves your support as well. And her I think her link tree is Image Productions too, so you can check out her links there. I got to get out of here. I appreciate all y'all. Thank you on Rockfin. Thank you on YouTube and Twitch. Appreciate y'all. We'll see you next week with Mundus Ultra. Hopefully have another cool topic for you. In the meantime, keep an open mind. You never know what lurks in the world beyond. So we'll see you next time. Have a good night.